My fourth ball was like that, and that was actually a pitch that Hideo Nomo showed me.
こんにちは、ナビゲーターのはじめです。今回は前回2回とても好評いただいていたデニスサファテ選手の未公開スペシャル映像をお届けします。2回ではお届けしきれなかったたくさんのサファテ選手のお話、今回お届けしたいと思いますので、ぜひご覧ください。
Sure, I actually keep in contact with a lot. So Yuito Mori, everyone knows our relationship. When I found out that he was in the hospital when he got hurt with his left elbow, right away I texted him. It might have been like 2 a.m. there. I kind of get mixed up in the time zones. But I keep up with him. I keep up with Keizo and Yanagita and those guys, and they're always asking how my rehab's going. But I still have the Pacific League TV app. I still watch games. If I wake up every day at 5 a.m., so I'll turn it on. I'll catch the last inning or two. On a Saturday night, I'll catch the day game and watch a little bit. I've always said this, that the Japanese players are more advanced when they first sign and become professionals because of the time and effort they put into it. The talent level is there. I believe that they give away some of their talent because of how much they practice. They actually lose some of it because it's so draining and they're tired. They exhaust their body. And by the time, the end of the season comes, they're exhausted. They're spent. I think things need to change in Japanese baseball as far as more time off, more time away from the field like they do here in the States. I think that would give players where you wouldn't see guys deplete so fast. But these guys are polished. All the pitchers can throw 3 pitches for a strike when they sign. And you see the difference of guys that sign here and go to the minor leagues for 4 or 5 years. Like when you go there, you can have a chance to pitch in the big leagues there right away. Like Yuito did his first year. Me and Standridge kind of harassed him for the first 2 months. He was a deer in headlights, but you saw that he had what it took. You saw his demeanor. He has the attitude. He has the confidence. And his stuff has stayed pretty solid. He has gone down velocity-wise, but he throws 3 pitches for a strike, and he's always trying to compete. He's always trying to get better. And that's just their MO. They're always trying to do the next thing to get better. They don't just sometimes trust their talent. My first teammate, Shogo Kimura in Hiroshima, I remember a third baseman we had, an American guy, Brian Barden, was kind of taking ground balls at third before the game during infield outfield, nonchalantly throwing it across. And I remember Shogo went up to him and said, practice is the most important. The game is just the reward. Practice is the most important. And that hit me hard the first time because I was like, these guys mean it. I never trained like I did before a game until I got to Japan. Where before in the big leagues, you kind of run a couple sprints, you go eat, you hang out, play cards. I was on the field doing core, doing calisthenics, stretching, long toss, running, and it was just like, it got my body into a shape. And I think that's why my game got better, was because of the training that they do. That, if you do that training, you protect yourself, don't overdo it, you're going to be better off when the game comes. You're going to be more prepared. So I would say their preparation is a little bit better than in the big leagues. Just in the big leagues, they let guys use their talents, and they just say, go out there and play. Which I think some guys, like Yanagita, that guy does not need to practice very much. You can just say, Yuki, go out there and just do your thing. So many guys are like that. I could name a list. Sakamoto with the Giants is like that. All these guys that I saw, even Aoki, from the Swallows, when I first played against him, I couldn't get him out. And he's just one of those guys that just could play. He had the talent, and you could see he worked hard, but he knew his body. He knew his limits. Uchikawa was really big with that. So it's a different game, but it's the same game, right? We're still playing 9 innings. We're still playing, throw strikes, don't walk guys, put the ball in play, get guys over. They just do the smallest things right, and they try to do it all the time. Always playing against Fukuoka, you go, a beautiful stadium. When I was on the visiting team, when I was with the Lions, I faced the Hawks like 30 times. It was a joke. hated pitching against them. The lineup was strong. The coaches just looked stronger. Like that uniform, just you see them in that dugout, and they had all the confidence in the world. When I first got there, Akiyama-san was the manager, and what a joy and what a blessing it was to play for him. My first year was his last year, and we ended up winning the whole thing. That's probably one of the greatest moments. And if you watch that Game 5, the first one I hug is Akiyama-san. And it was just one of those things where you knew what he had gone through that year. You knew what he was going through, and we just wanted to win it for him. And what a joy it was to do that. But I've had amazing coaches, guys that I would go to dinner with all the time. Coaches would always ask me to come to dinner with them. I always respected them. I think if you were to ask them, the greatest compliment they would probably give about me is I showed them a lot of respect. I did what I was asked to do. I never complained. I would throw 5 games in a row, and they just thought that the American way was 2 days and that was it. That's all you would do. So when I got there, I'd go 5 days in a row, and these coaches were like, "This is amazing. This guy is like Japanese." So I had the respect of those. Kudo-san has been just a tremendous help. People don't understand how hard it is to get hurt, especially after you win the MVP, not only of the season, but of the climax series of the Japanese World Series. To get hurt 5 games in the next season and to never pitch again in a game has been something of just frustration, sadness, cried. There were times where I was trying to come back last year throwing bullpens, and I just couldn't, and I would just go and just be so angry. I literally would cry. And then you could see how hurt the coaches were because they just wanted to do something for me. I would go there every day and show up and work hard, and they just wanted to help me in some way. And that was the love. They always showed me love. They always took care of me and showed compassion. In 2017, when my wife was sick, they let me go home for 10 days to take care of her when she had her operation for stem cell. And then, they would just make sure I was always doing all right. Kudo-san, his wife, would always call me. She'd call my wife and see how she was doing. He flew in here after the team won it in 2019. And he surprised me at my rehab place, and just little things where he left the team party in Hawaii early just to come surprise me. I cried that day too, just because, man, they really do care for me. They do want me to be successful. They wanted me to come back. It hasn't worked out so far, but I have so much respect and love for every coach I've played with, every player. I had a tremendous relationship, and I think that's something that me and Jason Standridge did right. Is we always engaged the culture, and we would go out to dinner with everyone, and we'd take guys out, and I think that they really saw that we cared for them, and that's all they wanted was us to be a part of the team, and we bought in, and we were part of the team, and I was a part of the team, and they just enjoyed it and love it so much. Yeah, so here, this is an MLB ball, but my 4-seam fastball is always across the seams because you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's my 4-seam. I threw a spike curve, so I throw my curveball like this, and I would grow this nail out so I could really dig into it and really snap it out in front. So if I was throwing it, I'm trying to snap out in front this way. And then my fork ball was like that. And that was actually a pitch that Hideo Nomo showed me my first year when I was with the Carp. He came to spring training in Okinawa, and he said, you got big hands, you should try this. And I did. And, the funny thing is I tried it, but my catcher Ishihara didn't call it as much my first couple years. A lot of fastballs. Ginjiro and Seibu didn't call it a whole lot. It wasn't until Toro Hosokawa really just was like, hey, trust me, we're going to throw this thing. Now we're, by the 2018, when I was still healthy, I was throwing that thing 0-0 for a get-me-over, where I got so comfortable with it just because he challenged me, like, hey, we know your fastball's good. Put that in the back seat. Let's throw your forkball more. And it became one of the best pitches I could throw, and it really helped. It really probably helped me and pushed my career to where it went.
かがでしたでしょうか。デニス・サファテ選手の新しい一面も発見することができたと思います。そして今回はなんとサファテ選手からのプレゼントの抽選結果の発表をいたします。当選者の方々はこちらの方です。おめでとうございます。それでは次回もぜひスポーツコアご覧ください。そしてチャンネル登録といいねボタンよろしくお願いします。それではまた。